What's up, guys? It's Chief here, and yesterday EA dropped the Player of the Month Haaland SBC. So in this video, we're going to be talking about every way that it impacted the FC25 market and how you can make coins off of SBCs like this in the future. So this SBC was actually split into two sections, as you can see here. The first one requiring an 84, an 85, and two 86 rated squads, and the second one requiring an 86, two 87s, and an 88 rated squad. So typically when you get kind of big SBCs like this that require a lot of high rated squads, the first thing that everybody thinks is fodder. So that's where we're going to start with this video. And typically there's two big reasons that fodder will either go up or go down when we get SBCs like this. Number one is how affordable is the SBC? How well priced is it? And with this Haaland SBC, I would not consider this super affordable at this point in the game because it's like a 600k SBC. We're in the first week of the game. It hasn't even fully released. So you're not going to have that many people completing this SBC. So what that does is it means there's not all that much demand for fodder because not many people can actually afford to do the SBC. And number two is how usable of a card slash how easy it is to get in teams. And while it is a very, very good card and easy to get in Prem teams, again, I just don't think it's that affordable for people. So in turn, the fodder actually went down, as we're going to talk about now. And we're going to talk about how you guys can kind of avoid losing coins on this and how you can make coins in the future. So if you don't know, this Haaland SBC was actually not supposed to come out per EA. They came out and said the player of the month for August in the Premier League is not going to get an SBC. So in turn, fodder didn't have that much demand because people didn't expect to get this SBC. However, like an hour before content on Saturday, all the leakers just came out and said like, okay, Haaland is coming. So what happened right when that was leaked, all the fodder started to go up. You'll see stuff started at 9k Saturday morning, and then when Haaland came out, it was up to 10.5k for the 87s here, and then everything just kind of stagnated and even went down for that fodder. So why is that the case? Number one, like we mentioned earlier, I just don't think it's that demanded of an SBC because people can't really afford it. And number two, I think fodder was just overinvested in because you had so many people buy fodder right before content and then just everybody offloaded it because Haaland came out and they thought, okay, the SBC's here, let me sell my fodder. So when you're investing in fodder, you need to consider how many people are really going to be completing that SBC via how affordable it is and how easy it is to fit into teams. And you will have seen with the Alaba SBC actually that it is pretty affordable. People are able to get him in their teams. So fodder did really well when Alaba came out. You'll see, I mean, these cards were for 86s 4.5k, 4k here on Friday, and then 6.5k on Saturday. So the rises are there for the really affordable SBCs and not there for the ones that not many people are going to complete. So that kind of hits on fodder. Next, I want to move into the actual player, Gold Haaland. So what happens when you get a special version of a player, whether it be an objective, an SBC, or even a promo card, is that the other versions of this card, for example, Gold Haaland, will go down in price typically because you'll have people panic selling the card because they think, oh, player of the month version's coming out, I want to have the best version of him, as do other people. I need to sell this gold card because it's going to lose demand. So what happens is they typically have quite big drops right at content when the new versions of their card come out. So if I jump over to foot.gg and show you Haaland yesterday when he released, he went literally from 390k before content down to 353 was his average sale price. I told you guys in the Discord, I was seeing cards listed at 335k, 340k, and to go pick him up if you have the coins, because typically, like I said, you'll see a lot of panic selling right at content when that new version's released, and then they'll quickly rebound. He went back to 390k he was at this morning. So grabbing these cards whenever there is the panic selling, and you'll see this with a lot of SBCs. For example, whenever we get an icon pack, you'll see at content time that day, the icons all go down in price because everybody goes and sells off their icons because they're worried that this new icon pack is going to cause their cards to go down in price. So this works in a lot of different fashions, but panic selling around new SBCs is a great time to pick up cards because typically they'll just rebound right back, as we saw with this Howland card. So the next one we're going to dive into is link investments. A big one is whenever you get an affordable SBC, and we'll look at the Alaba SBC in a minute here because he was a good one for this, you'll see a lot of the cards that link well with the player will go up in price. And one example of that would be Kyle Walker here. Kyle Walker had a nice rise at content time yesterday because Player of the Month Haaland dropped, and everybody thought if you're going to have Player of the Month Haaland in your team, then you're going to have Kyle Walker in your team because he links to him. He's very, very good. So Kyle Walker had a nice spike in price at content time yesterday. Now, a much better example of this is going to be the David Alaba SBC because he was more affordable. A lot more people are using him in their teams. So if we go look at, for example, a card like Rodrigo here, he links to Alaba. A lot of people want to have him because they link well together. And you'll see this guy has just risen because a lot of people have that Alaba SBC in their club. Alaba was very affordable, so the demand was there for him. He was from a good club, a good league. So a lot of people have now a Real Madrid base to their team. So a lot of these Real Madrid cards did very, very well in price. So link investments are very solid around those well-priced SBCs. And even though Haaland wasn't super well-priced, it still worked quite well. You'll see Eder Militao here from 94K up to 160. So those link investments are very, very solid, and they can typically do quite well. The next thing I want to hit on is alternatives to the player. So what I mean by that is when a Player of the Month Haaland, for example, comes out, alternatives to him, for example, are other Premier League strikers like a Heung-min Son, like an Isak, and these, just like that gold version of Haaland that we were hitting on, typically you'll have people panic selling right after content because they think, oh, everybody's going to do this Haaland SBC, the demand for my player is going to drop, and he's going to drop in price. So you'll typically see panic selling and a drop in price of these cards like Heung-min Son, for example, like Isak, just Premier League strikers in general. So it's another great time to buy because typically you'll see these cards rebound really well. One example I threw in here is Isak. He had a decent little drop at content time yesterday. He went from 51K down to 47. And again, the better priced SBC, the better objective, the more these things are going to kind of pick up their trends. Because if it was I don't know, a 200K Haaland SBC, everybody would go sell their Premier League strikers and do this Haaland. So it would cause a big drop in those prices, and then they would rebound right after. And again, I think the best example of this is that Icon SBC. If you get an Icon SBC, everybody goes and sells their icons off. So it's a great time to buy icons. And then the icons will slowly rebound back up in price. So buying in that panic selling kind of window right when SBCs drop is a great way to make coins. So we hit on fodder, we hit on the alternatives to the player, we hit link investments, everything like that. That, I believe, is everything that kind of moved the market with this Player of the Month Haaland SBC. And again, when you get more desirable SBCs like that Alaba SBC, he's only like 2 squads, I think, and he's got a really nice card that's easy to link, then the cards are just always going to do better. Again, if we go look at this Alaba, he's got a really nice card. He's easy to fit in. He's 4-star, 4-star, and he can play in the midfield. Lots of people getting this done. So again, you saw those Real Madrid cards skyrocket in price, and I'm sure you saw some La Liga midfielders or left backs drop in price right when this guy's card came out. So if you guys have any questions on that, please let me know. But that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.